Hello, my name is FreeHappyDolphin and welcome to massive series dedicated to making you a better Company of Heroes free player. This free first videos in series will feature 21 tips divided into beginner, intermediate and advanced categories. And now let's dive into the first one, beginner tips. The first step, mind your positions. Company of Heroes 3 is an RTS title where the micro unit placement plays a big role in winning or losing. So if you're not capping your lonely side of the map, there is no excuse to not put your units in cover. Not only that, but you should also anticipate and think about which side your opponent might show up from, what cover they will take, and adjust accordingly. You need to always have better cover compared to your enemy or aim for the best hard cover indicated by green circles. It could also mean creating this cover by yourself with sandbags or putting wires on opposing covers or even mines. It's an easy thing to do, but once you start using this to gain small advantages, you will notice how big an effect it will have on your game. Talking about big gains from small details is where the second tip comes in. Stop wasting manpower. This is absolutely one of the biggest factors for winning if you can do this better than your opponent. To not lose any manpower, you need to know when it's time to retreat or not take fight at all. Nobody tells you that you need to fight until you almost lose the full unit altogether, or stay for example under machine gun suppression until you get pinned. It's a simple concept, but many neglect its importance. Players quickly start to understand that losing a full squad will wipe out all veterancy bonuses from it, but dropping any individual models means losing manpower as well. There is a big difference between retreating with one healthy model and retreating with 4 models that are almost dead. You should always aim to get back and heal as many models as you can, since that saved manpower now can go towards more units or upgrades. One more advanced step is to remember that the opposite is true. Try to drop as many enemy models as possible. Often it's best to attack the weak link in the enemy's army, as each model dropped in the battle not only will cost manpower for opponent, but also will make that squad weaker in firepower as well. As a side note, also always remember to chase enemy units down and drop more models, unless you risk losing something yourself. Use this to snowball your battles. As much as manpower is important not to drop, it's even more important to gain all possible fuel, as it's the most important resource in the game. You could survive without tons of munitions, but if you don't have enough fuel, you will be behind in tech, and most likely not having good counters for your enemy's unit choices, and also lacking access to vehicles that have not only big guns, but free replenishment as well. All they need is engineer's time, but no additional manpower. This is super important, as there's just so much good play you can do to stay competitive against a better teched opponent. So keep your fuel flowing and stop flow of your opponent's fuel. In Company of Heroes 3, even the characteristics of individual units can sometimes change the game dramatically. We still have a classic rock paper scissors counter relationship. For example, infantry can be countered by most vehicles, which are countered by ATs, and ATs stand no chance against infantries. By looking at an extreme example, it's easy to see that building only one type of unit is bad strategy. For example, building only machine guns will be bad, since the opponent can easily counter that with few mortars and then push with his infantry. So you always want to use some kind of combined arms army. Being able to counter anything what comes in front of you is the safest starting winning policy. At the same time, punish your opponent for heavily investing in one type of unit by countering it. The next tip, know your units. Doing by just 5 minutes of little research can earn you a few hundred elo points if you haven't done that yet. All you need to do is to just go on a page like companyofheroes3stats.com and find that DPS comparison tool. Let's say that you can't win with Brits against Axis. Well, for starters, let's compare your Tommies with German and DAC infantries. As you can see in these graphs, both Axis infantries are better at close range against yours. So if you haven't been keeping your distance against them, it's no surprise why they keep smashing you even if you mind your cover. Now, you don't have to learn the entire database like this. I suggest just to look up a new interaction when it comes up and you will get better. For example, with infantry in this patch, you can apply a simple rule to remember all 4 factions' favorable interactions. With Americans, get close, and with Brits, keep the distance. And as for Axis, you just need to do the opposite. Get away from Americans, but come close to smash Brits. As a side note, don't forget that Brits engineers are infantry melting machines at really close range. Of course, you can use many more stats from this page to, for example, get better traits or other advantages, but I will cover those in other videos. Now let's go to the tip number 6. It can feel good to catch that machine gun off guard with mortar or sneak one shot into tank with your AT. But if you want to win battles, only doing this won't be enough. It may feel okay to attack an area with lonely but strong tank, though you really have to wait for some infantry to come and help. However, this is also unlikely to be game-winning attack. What is necessary is to use absolutely everything. Put your artillery in range of attack, maybe push some ATs closer as well, get ready with your armor and infantry, and try to scout the area before attacking as well. Maybe it's possible to put a flare up, and lastly, maybe wait a few seconds to be able to use that artillery strike from your battle group choices if that's available, and cast it on the backline of enemy troops. This attack will be much stronger and you'll possibly put your opponent in slight panic and you'll have fewer casualties as well, but you just need to group everything up. Even though it's said that you learn the best from your own mistakes, you don't always have to, as it will take a long time to make them all yourself to reach the knowledge level that people may already have. Plus, you will still make those mistakes anyway, just in different places, so you could save a lot of time. I recommend you to watch the best players' battles. You can do that, for example, by staying around this channel, as I will start to cover some more pro plays, not only mine, and you can also stick around for some more tips videos. Whatever you do, your mindset to get the most out of viewing this material should be to really find at least few things that you haven't seen before or need to practice to do more. Doing this can boost your improvement so much. So these were all tips for this video. Subscribe if you don't want to miss more videos in this series and more. And thank you for watching. This was Free Happy Dolphin.